The House of Representatives has described former Nigerian President Chief Olusegun Obasanjo as the grandfather of corruption and accused him of introducing corruption to the National Assembly in 1999, shortly after he made comments calling the National Assembly a corrupt cabal. Is the ex-president right or wrong? Is his statement unguarded or in order? Where will the discussion take us next as a nation? Data feeds coming through in one place simultaneously on all our social media platforms, channelstv.com, youtube.com/channelsweb. You can follow us right now on m.channelstv.com. We've got all our platforms and social media covered. We're right now live on Facebook to receive an instant notification on our live shows. Like our page, and you can interact with all our social media platforms. Be part of the show. Tweet at Gimba Umar CTV and use the hashtag State of the Nation to air your thoughts on the subject. The Nigerian Army has flagged off another clearance operation in the Sambisa forest, tagged Operation Rescue Finale. The focus of the latest operation in Sambisa is to rescue the Chibok girls and other hostages and also rid the forest of remnants of insurgents inhabiting the area. Is the war on corruption and the war on terror over or not? What if the army takes the war to the insurgents who are currently grooming younger members in unknown camps? Will that bring an end to the Boko Haram insurgents? Well, the Nigerian Senate has accused the executive of submitting an incomplete medium-term expenditure framework, MTEF, and fiscal strategy paper, FSP, to the National Assembly. The National Assembly is required to pass the MTEF and that will be the FSP before working on the 2017 budget. Based on the MTEF, the oil benchmark price is put at $42.50 per barrel with a 2.2 million oil production per day capacity and also an exchange rate of 290 naira to the dollar. What is the gross over the medium-term expenditure framework? It's prime time in Lagos, and this is State of the Nation. Welcome everyone in Nigeria and the rest of the world. I am Gimba Umar and this is State of the Nation. Right behind me, data feeds still arriving in one place simultaneously on our social media platforms. We're right now live on Facebook to receive an instant notification on our live shows, just like our page, and you can interact on all our social media platforms as well. Be part of the show. Tweet at Gimba Umar CTV and use the hashtag State of the Nation to air your thoughts. We begin with the controversial issue of the medium-term expenditure framework and fiscal strategy paper sent to the National Assembly by the executive. The legislators rejected the document, saying it's incomplete and needs to be made clearer. Well, the Senate spokesperson, Ali Usabi, joins me from our Abuja studios. Many thanks indeed for coming on the show at this time. What is the stance of the Senate on the MTEF and FSP as of now?
Well, thank you very much, Gimba Umar, and good evening, viewers. Like you rightly heard from the debate, I think the issues are just fundamental issues that we believe has to be addressed because you call it a medium-term expenditure framework. And because it's a framework, it has a 3-year span. What is important here is that, yes, the last one was 2016 to 2018. And the one placed before us now is going to say 2017 to 2019. At all instances, it is a 3-year frame. What is the performance of the 2016, especially against the assumptions that were made when the 2016 to 2018 framework was, considered? what has been the performance, what has changed. To the best of my knowledge, we are, in an economic recession, which, according to experts, says that you have negative growth quarter after quarter. And I think for the third quarter running, we've actually been having some negative growth. So the issue here is that, have we reviewed the performance? The framework itself has annual budget attached to it because it tells you the projection for 2016, for example, the projection for 2017 and 2018. That is with respect to the 2016 to 2018, MTEF. Then for the 2017, 2018, 2019 MTEF, it's expected that you are now going to have a projection. But what is the degree to which the earlier assumptions you have made and the performance you've recorded in 2016 is going to impact on what you are going to project for 2017? I think these are the issues that are in contention, and I think if you look at the figures, we are worried that the figures are not adding up. And we have to really look at these things from a more realistic performance or for a more realistic projections, so that at the end of the day, we can have a budget that we know when passed can be implemented. As we speak, if you look at the performance of the 2016 budget, it's at various levels of implementation, because obviously it is very clear that not all the MDAs have received funds in commensurate percentage. I will give you a classical example. The Senate Committee on Labor and Employment, considering the fact that employment is key in an economic setting like this, we were in the National Directorate of Employment, where we looked at their budget. They had a budget of 1.8 billion with various programs that are targeting the youth to create the employment we talk about. But as at the time we were there, which is about 2 weeks ago, what was released to them was just about 74 million. 74 million out of a budget of 1.8 billion for an entity like the National Directorate of Employment. I think it speaks volume. And I think these are some of the concerns that the Senate is worried about, and that is why you can hear one of the senators saying, can we even take a realistic appraisal of the performance of the 2016 budget? So I think these are the issues. And if these issues can be addressed, I think it's for our own collective good.
So for you now, it's very likely that the timelines and the deadlines being set by the executive is very likely not to come through now that you're having this issue at hand.
Well, you see, Gimba, let's look at these realities. In all instances, I'm somebody who believes that we must always look at errors or mistakes we have made. And I think the art of governance involves one or two actions that you have taken. Either you succeed in it, for which you can easily identify what you may call your critical success factors, or you make some mistakes in it in which you now have a learning point. And on the basis of all of this, you should at least take them on board and try to move to the next level, whereby you are reducing your mistakes while you are also consolidating on areas where you have done well. And if this is done, I don't think we should be having some of this problem. And the bottom line, from my own perspective, is perhaps there is a lack of consultation. And I think in a democracy, consultation is key. And where there are consultations, where people are taken on board on issues even before they are tabled, I'm sure some of these gray areas can be tackled and these things can be sorted out.
You have said that this document is one that is incomplete. Senator Dino Milaye, in that clip we just watched, actually said that it is a lie. What portion of that document do you suppose is incomplete, and which of it is Dino calling a lie?
I think it has to do with the assumptions. It is the contention that the assumptions have not taken on board the realities of 2016. Because 2016, you don't bring a frame. The MTEF is always predicated on past performance and future projections. So, to what extent have you taken the past performance? I think if you remember when we were considering the 2016 to 2018 MTEF, we had to look at the 2015 performance And it's on the basis of that we came to some realistic projections. Now, if you look at some of the, what do they call it, projections being made, right now you come to agree that actions on ground are not matching some of these projections. Because right now we know we are having, problems seriously with the, output level. And so if you look at the growth level right now and then the jump you are expected to have, I think it's a little bit too ambitious.
Interesting. Going forward now, what do you plan to do to help the executive in meeting some of these issues and concerns that you have raised, just so that we have a smooth sail and have the 2017 budget in time?
Well, as it is from the debate, the document has been referred to the appropriate committee, that is the Committee on Finance and then the Appropriation. So my contention here is, of course, the respective MDAs, the ministers concerned, will surely engage these committees and these issues will be tabled and looked at in more details so that at the end of the day we come up with what we believe is workable. You see, the issue is you have a budget, you now make some projections, you have some targets, and at the end of the day, you are not even able to achieve them. So I think these are some of the things we are saying we must learn from the past. And I think, we want to see a budget that at the end of the day we're able to implement. To my mind, for example, like the examples I cited to you, is I was a little bit disturbed. I was worried because we are concerned that employment is a key issue. And if you are trying to create employment and you are not able to, get these youths, to be engaged meaningfully, then I think there is something fundamentally wrong. And for agencies that have been given such kind of responsibilities, they have structures all over this country. I think what one would have loved to see to match some of the policy intentions with budgetary actions is to see that such kind of agencies have been given substantial amount of money to actually execute the projects that they have so submitted. So, but this is not the case. And so against this background, by the time you bring all the MDAs and try to look at their performance, in this particular instance, the performance as at 2-3 weeks ago was just about 3.5 or 3.6%. That is abysmal.
Many thanks indeed, Senator Aliu Sabi, the spokesperson of the Senate, for talking to us on State of the Nation.